Fill the Funnel podcast with Jeff Swan
and Tom Slocum.
We're here to help you crush your targets
with tactical tips and insights you can act on today.
Don't have a fancy tech stack, a big budget, or even a huge team to lean on?
Well, it's time to get that solved today with FTF Fridays.
Welcome, everyone, to another fantastic episode of Fill the Funnel with your host, myself, Tom Slocum, and my partner in crime, Jeff Swan.
Heyo.
Today, we got a fun one with you. We are kicking off Q4, one of the best times of the year, in my personal opinion. This is what you've been training for all year. This is what your pipeline is going into, ready to pop, and setting you up to close out this year for you, your account executives, you, the AE, anybody that's in those trenches prospecting. This is your time. This is the Olympics. So Jeff and I want to talk a little bit about the mentality, the mechanics, and even bring a fun little surprise in at the end of this episode. I cannot wait. But this is a new time for a lot of SDRs out there, Jeff, right? This is, maybe their first rodeo. We have some seasoned listeners that this could be their 15th Q4. They've been through it. But, for the ones that are just getting into this, what do you say to a new SDR as they're, haven't maybe had the full year to prep for this show? Maybe they've only had a few weeks, but they're here. They got to show up and deliver. What do you got for them?
Well, the first thing that you need to know, and again, our seasoned listeners already know this, but the first thing you need to know is that no matter what business you're in, a lot of business slows down after the Thanksgiving weekend. Thanksgiving week. So this year, Thanksgiving is on November 25th. And what's going to happen then is people start to kind of get into holiday mode. So they're going to change the way they do business. And this, depending on your industry, this could actually be better for you because they're more inclined to do more strategic things or growth things that will help them set up the next year really well. Or they're in a different type of business where they're going to want to get more deep into their business to close out the year strong. So either way, you have to know your business. But the point is the way that you can kind of control your own fate is to make sure that you have your pipeline absolutely filled before that Thanksgiving weekend. So we don't want to leave anything to chance, nothing whatsoever. We want to make sure we have a fat funnel going into Thanksgiving week. And a lot of times, and I have to say, over the course of the last few years, Tom, you probably saw this, but over the last few years, I've noticed that Thanksgiving weekend is becoming Thanksgiving week. And then it's like, instead of just taking off Thursday, Friday, they take off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then it's just like the whole week.
Right.
So you really need to be mindful that first six that you really only have from now, so the time of this recording, it's the October 8th, starting on Monday, you'll have 6 full business weeks until Thanksgiving week. Okay, because like I said, you might not be able to count on the Wednesday or the Tuesday or the Monday of the week of Thanksgiving because half of your prospects might already be on their holiday with family. So after that, so what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're making your quarter now. You're doing everything you can to fill your funnel before the end of that quarter. Is that landing there, Tom? Is that anything to add?
Absolutely. You can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I think it's totally that is, it's doing the right steps, being very intentional in your outreach, and prepping mentally for what's coming. This is crucial. Crucial time. And, I would lean on a lot of your veterans around you that are going into this. Focus on them, right? Try to learn from them. What do they do? Reach out to past prospects that were in your patch. But I think you nailed it on the head with a lot of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, from a practical perspective, is what you want to do is really track how much you need to accomplish over the next 30 days. So again, 30 business days, 6 weeks. So know that you have 6 weeks until you're basically in limbo mode where you don't know how much you're going to have. So think about it. In 6 weeks, what do I have? Excuse me. In 6 weeks, what do I have to accomplish and what can I accomplish? And try to marry those things two together is understand, okay, if I have to book 30 meetings this quarter, 10 meetings a month, then I know in those 6 weeks, I'm going to have to probably do at least 2/3 of that 30 target. Would you agree, Tom, or do you think you should do more?
Oh, this is a great question. You need to know your data. You need to know your own numbers. You need to know what you can achieve. If your show rate 60%, you're going to have to double down on those meetings. 30 meetings, you need to generate. You probably got to do, 50, 60 meetings. What is your, show rate? What is your conversion rate, right? Run those numbers. Or if you don't have them yet, because this is your first rodeo, lean on the veterans or ask your leadership typical numbers, right, that you can work off of. What's our team average show rate? What's our team average conversion? And I hope your leaders can answer those questions. You have a bigger problem if you can't. I'm talking about
that's a whole different type of challenge, isn't it? We're not going to discuss that now.
If you can get the info, right? Work it out, and then figure those numbers out. But yes, realistically, you want to get 2/3 of that now. Work off of that, and be realistic too. Work with your leadership, find out what's realistic. Maybe you just started a week ago and you're listening to our episode and you're like, what the hell am I supposed to do? I don't know. So this is where you need to lean on leadership, your fellow, teammates, and structure something out and then reevaluate, right? So maybe in 4 weeks, as you hit the last 2 weeks, you have better data of your own and you can run your own numbers. But find a way to get that, dial it up, and then work backwards so that you can, put yourself in a position, because you also don't want to just worry about Q4. You want to also prep for Q1 and start building that as well, because whatever doesn't come in during now will set you up to have an amazing Q1.
That's a really good point. And before I go into the next part, it's really important to kind of look at what metrics are really important for you right now. So what numbers are important? You have to work backwards for your booked meetings target. So there's working backwards from your target and then working forwards from what you can actually physically accomplish in a day. So those are two things, and you're going to have to find the balance there to come up with the numbers that you actually need to hit. So here's some metrics that I look at when I'm looking at my prospecting, and I think you should too. So the important is, how many contacts a day are you trying to hit? How many contacts a day can you actually put into your outbound sequence? How many new contacts a day can you reach out to? So that's number one. Number two, how many contacts total? So if you take that number of contacts a day and you times that by the number of days in this time period, which we said is 30 business days, then you're looking at, so let's imagine I do 20 activities or 20 new contacts a day. Times that by 30, you have 600 contacts. So over the next 6 weeks, I'm trying to reach out to 600 contacts, not counting the people that are already in my funnel, right? Now, it takes an average of about 10.1 touches per prospect to get in touch with them. So that means you want to times that by 10 now. So over the next 30 days, I need to do 6,000 activities. Wow, that number sounds so freaking big when I say it.
Think about that. You're asking an individual to do 6,000 touch points over 6 weeks. And that's not including anything else you're doing or working on. That's just pure outreach to give you a fighting chance to, even get in touch with those 600 people.
And that works out to 200 activities a day.
Ooh.
Now, there's not a lot of people that can do that without technology.
You better have an SCP. That's all I'm saying. You better have a software engagement platform.
Yeah, better have a sales engagement platform, better have a power dialer, at least access to one of those two. I mean, I have worked with people who have literally burnt their freaking fingers every day making dials on the phone for 200.
Isn't that your co-host?
Wow, do they ever have a work ethic that I do not recommend you trying to get to?
Is that your co-host?
What's that?
Is that your co-host? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, well, Tom, yes. Yeah, absolutely. Actually, I work with one right now who's done that.
No, if you don't have a technology, though, I do want to make it clear, it is very possible. And listen, these numbers are to strive for, right? Like, be self-forgiving. These are just benchmarks to give you something to work towards. If you're aiming for 200 activities a day and you only get to 150, hell yeah, go you. Like, that's great. And you're giving yourself a fighting chance regardless of whatever. You could tell me I could only do 20% of that, Tom. So what? 20% is better than 0%. You're doing better than your competition out there. So, these numbers are to give you a layout of what this would entail, but they're all doable, whether you have the technology. Shout out RevLink. If you're looking for some, join our sales community. But if you don't, it's okay to do, right? Just be structured with your day, time block use out your calendar to allocate this time to do what you can, and find a system that works for you. Use your task in your CRM. If you're on Salesforce, live by those, and manage those, but put yourself in a place where you can win. But 6,000 is, if you've got an SCP, that software engagement platform, you can absolutely do 200 a day. It's automating a lot of those for you, the LinkedIn touches, the emailing, the phone calling. So there's a lot that you can do to personalize and scale that in a way to still win.
Yeah, no, totally. And so when you actually look at that now, typically, I mean, everybody's going to have their different results here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so everybody's going to have their different conversion numbers. But if you can look at a baseline conversion of about 1% of your activities, that leads to a meaningful sales conversation. And a meaningful sales conversation is one where you're actually qualifying in or qualifying out to the next step. Okay. So it's where you're actually having a conversation about, do you want to evaluate the solution I'm selling? Right. So when you extrapolate that, you take 1%, then that works out to 60 conversations over 30 days. Okay. 60 conversations. It works out to 2 conversations a day.
Okay.
Now, if you can do 20 calls, Tom, if you can do 20 calls and get 2 conversations, then rip up those numbers I just told you and go way smaller. Okay. But the goal here now is you need to look at 2 conversations a day. That's your goal. Okay. And then finally from there, and I'm being super conservative here, look at trying to get 25% of those conversations to turn into a meeting booked. And that works out to 15 meetings in that time. So if these numbers would help you out, if they would represent you getting at least 2/3 of your quarter's results, then use these exact numbers. If you don't, then work backwards from how many meetings you need booked, take on your conversion rate, and all these things. Now, don't worry. I know we're talking all this stuff. Your head's spinning right now. We're going to put it we're going to put it a LinkedIn post for this episode. And you just need to find this LinkedIn post. And then look, we're going to actually put this math out there for you. So you don't have to think about it. And I have to say, I apologize in advance, but this math is very straightforward. I'm going to put it on the post, and Tom and I are both going to put it on our post, and you can look at and work backwards from there, which leads us to the next thing. Is why are we telling you all these numbers? We want to challenge. Tom, do you want to tell them about the challenge? Do you want me to tell them about the challenge?
I'll drop the magic. We at Fill the Funnel, Jeff and I, are also going into Q4 with y'all. And so what we're going to do is something that's been fun for the last couple of months that people tend to really enjoy. And that is issue a challenge to you all. All of you listeners, we want you to join us for the ride to really have a successful Q4 and do this challenge with us. These metrics, whatever they are, get them, right? We'll provide the formula and get it all in place on our post, but then you work it. And then what we'd love for you to do is post your own post, raising your hand, saying, I'm in, I know my numbers, I have my goals, I'm joining the FTF challenge. That will be our branded hashtag we're going to use, FTF challenge. And for the next 30 days, we're going to go ape and go crazy. And we're going to try to work off these numbers and see what we can get done. So we want to get you all involved, have some fun to close out the year, make this exciting, get LinkedIn involved, and show, how math can help you achieve your goals. Now, there's a lot of nuances in here. There are. But if you set clear goals and you have something to work towards, like I said, even 20% of being able to do some of these numbers, it's going to help you in the long run. So we'd love for you to join us. FTF Challenge is going to be the tag. So over the weekend or on Monday, as you listen to this episode, we'd love for you to raise your hand on LinkedIn, say you're going to commit, share your numbers, whatever this formula worked out for you, and let's hold each other accountable. Let's rally each other. Let's support one another. And in 6 weeks, go into the holiday break and season saying, hey, we crushed it. We earned them holidays.
Yeah. And just so you know, once you do send that, so I'm going to give you the exact wording here. And again, this is going to be in the LinkedIn post, but the exact wording is going to be, I want to take the FTF challenge. So, and that's a hashtag FTF challenge. I commit to, and then put your numbers out there. I commit to how many activities, how many contacts a day, how many total activities. That's cold calls, emails, phone, social messages, all those things. and how many conversations and how many meetings booked. Okay. Should I repeat that, Tom?
Nah, I think you're good. We'll put it on the post. Everybody can find it. Sales leaders, if you're listening, bring your teams. Let's have fun. I hope a lot of our listeners go to their leadership and they're saying, hey, I got this challenge I'm going to do. And they're stoked about it. So join us.
And that actually, you bring up a good point, Tom, is that sales leaders, we challenge you. If you want to challenge, if you want to put your whole team on challenge and let them know that you voluntold them to join this, do it. Let's go. Everybody loves a challenge. Okay. And you can say, I nominate my team, and you could, and if you do, if you're a sales leader out there and you're challenging your team, please, in this post, tag them in the post.
Yeah.
Okay. Tag their names in the post so we know who's involved, and we'll make sure to actually let everybody know, everybody who volunteers for this, we're going to send them a direct message ourselves, and we're going to give you details about how to get involved. Okay.
I think this is going to be great. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. People are going to crush Q4. They'll know exactly the bar that they have set, and we'll know others are just right there with them, supporting them, and we're all going to share those wins. But I'm excited. Especially for our newbies. This is a great time if you're a first-time SDR going into Q4. It's a whirlwind. It's pressure. It's exhausting. You'll get people to push you off, reschedule meetings. Holidays are going to come, and just be prepared. I really challenge y'all to get involved in this, have some fun, and for the next 6 weeks, really double down and get everything you got because it's going to make or break how you close out. And AEs, if you're down to join and you got some prospecting challenges, I invite you too. I know there's AEs out there that got to feed themselves. They eat too. Justin Lang is one. Shout out. A couple others that we know. Like, if y'all want to do it with us, can't wait. Over the weekend after the episode or on Monday, shoot that and let us know. We're excited.
Yeah. So I want you folks to know that what's really important about challenges like this is the outcome is important. You have to hit your targets and to close out the year. And like Tom said, if you're in your first year as an SDR or you're in first year as an AE and you have to build your own pipeline, then you definitely want to leave an impression and close out this year and go into those, winter holidays with that. We had an episode earlier on in the podcast about earn the weekend. Well, we want you to earn your holidays. Okay. So if you can do this 30-day challenge and you can get progress and you can know that you're putting in the work and you're doing what you need to do to succeed, then that does amazing things for you beyond just, your money and your commission and your accolades. It makes you feel right that you've earned the ability to have a holiday. You've earned the ability to spend time with your family, friends, colleagues, and everything. So we want you to take this challenge. We want you to crush it. We want you to have fun doing it and, help each other out, talk each other up, and give advice and all those things. And like I said, we're going to be doing this with you. So, take the challenge. Details in our post. So enjoy, everybody, and happy hunting. Bye.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Fill the Funnel podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit subscribe on your favorite platform, give us reviews, and tell all your friends about us. Till next time, happy hunting.